It's another morning. This is the 5th day working on this table. Although you can't see it, and the legs are done. Jane got the butter wham band. Backyard Carpenter Baby Boomers Can Do. You can find us on YouTube under that label. That is Backyard Carpenter Baby Boomers Can Do. Now, Jane, the other backyard carpenter, yesterday she painted the legs to match the floor, which I'll show you later. So what I got to do now is I'm staining the top. I'm going to start on the edge, and this is called Special Walnut. I don't want it to be too rich, all right? So that's what I'm doing. I got my gloves on. I've already got back there, you can see the plywood ready. I'm going to be using a foam brush and rags. Now here we go. Let's see what happens. Alright, so we're going to just apply on the edge, see what we think. So the question is, should I leave it on there for a while or immediately remove it? Alright, so I'm going to see what happens if I immediately remove it. Oh yeah. Oh, liking it. Alright. So I'm going to continue doing this, and then I'll come back and show you how I did the top. Alright, continuing on. Well, you can kind of see the legs. Well, Jane just disappeared on me. You can kind of see the legs now that she painted. Done the band. We put a little extra on a couple of places that we're concerned about that's actually glue. So, anyway, now I'm getting ready to do the top. All right, getting ready to, I had to change shirts. So here we go. Let's see what happens with the top. All right. So you got to start from the center, all right, and go out. So the pattern goes from out to center. And I'm doing it, I'm having to do this pretty rapidly because I don't want to have a stop and start spot, alright? So, also behind me I've got my little bitty heater going, kind of warm up inside here. Alright, so I got to go all the way across. Alright, so I don't have a start and stop pattern. Splattering the car. Jeez. Alright, since this really is absorbing this stain, I'm having to move pretty quickly. Again, the whole key to this is not having to start and stop with the stain. That means, where I started and where I stopped, it's a little darker than the rest. We're trying to make this one even stain is what we're trying to do. Alright, so also I had to change shirts because I didn't want any stain on the previous shirt that I had on. That's from the high school I went to about 100 years ago. But anyway, then continuing on. Alright. Gotta make sure I don't splatter one of the cars. It was a little cool this morning. Started out at 41, so I had to heat it up in here. I got it up to 70 inside the garage. So instead of being in my backyard, I am in my garage, so I can stay warm. This, you cannot do this outside when it's in the 40s. Alright, so it's really starting to pop out the grain. You know, this is a black walnut top. Alright, there's a couple of places here and there that I need to really stain. Alright. Now I'm going to turn around immediately with a rag and start wiping off the excess. In a minute I'll pick up the camera and show you how this looks up close. So I am wearing gloves, I am going to put a polyurethane on it, but what's a little different is the polyurethane is a rub-on. Now I've never used a rub-on polyurethane. Usually use a brush. You can't roll polyurethane because it'll leave little bubbles. Alright, so got one little place right there I need to put some extra on and let it really stay on there for a little while. But anyway, this is what it's looking like. Let me take the camera off and let you see what the grain looks like. Let's take the camera off its stand real quick, because you got a real glare going on. Flip this around so I can see it. Oh yeah, there you go. Oh yeah, there's kind of, alright. Let me do something real quick. Alexa, turn off den. Alexa, turn off garage. Oh, there you go. Now this is natural light showing the grain. So this is what it's looking like, so I got to let that dry for 24 hours and then come back with a polyurethane that I'm going to rub on. Before I move on, I don't know if you can, with the naked eye, this almost becomes like a hologram. It's amazing how the grain pops out. But that's seeing it with the naked eye, and the lights are kind of glaring a little bit, not able to see this hologram design on the table. But some part will be light and then suddenly it darkens up. Well, you kind of saw that just then. But anyway, this is what it looks like with just a stain on it. See how that looks like it's real light. Then when I bring it over here, it darkens up. So interesting. This is black walnut. This is what the wood is. So anyway, I'll keep going, and soon I'll do the polyurethane, but I got to let this absorb and dry first. What has happened so far is I have stained this, and it looks really, really good. Now I have blown it off, and now I'm going to wipe it off really good. Make sure there's no debris on it anywhere. Okay, I know you can't see it on the camera, but this is gorgeous. Now I'm using a Minwax wipe-on polyurethane. All right. This is a Minwax wipe-on polyurethane, okay? Never used this before. So here I got me a little container that I just put a little bit in, okay? I'm going to just use a rag, and I watched another YouTube channel show me how to do this, right? So here we go. Still find some debris on the table. All right. All right, this is a very, very thin coat that I'm putting on here. So I'll have to put at least 3 layers. All right, so I'm going with the grain. All right. outside, doing the edges also as I go along. Right. Looking for any place where I've missed. Alright. Like I said, this is the first time I've ever done a rub-on polyurethane, and so far I'm liking it because I don't have any streak marks. I don't have any bubbles. I'm really liking it. Making sure I get the edges as I go by. Now I'm kind of looking down to see if I missed a spot here and there. Alright. Yeah, I know, I say I'll write a lot. I will be using, again, steel wool after this has dried. Alright? Steel wool just to buff it down, and not buff, but make sure I got all the rough spots off the polyurethane. Alright, and then I'll come back with another layer, steel wool again, alright, and then go from there. So I'm just using a top to an old can to put this in instead of, just poured it in from the container. Alright, so I'm trying to keep from saying alright, alright. Alright. If you have any drips, you have to go ahead and address the drip of polyurethane. Now this is also bringing out the grain. Trying to use up every last bit of this out of the can. I mean, this little container that I got. Doing the edges really, really good. Doing the edges. Looking for spots where it looks like I might have missed. Alright. And with any type polyurethane, you can just, there's so much you can rub and then you got to quit, because then it starts kind of getting tacky. So you go so far with the polyurethane, even with the rub, and stop. Alright, so I just want to make sure I got my edges really good. What a difference. This thing had about 4 layers of black paint. Just gotta find out if this is like black walnut. Alright. Alright, I gotta stop. If there's any places that I have missed, I can catch it with the next layer. Okay? Whew. Alright, so that's what it looks like with just the first layer. Now we'll do 2 more layers, and these dry pretty quickly because they're very, very thin layers. So that's it for right now. Okay, another day working on the table. This is my final day. I only need 2 more coats of polyurethane, and I wish you could see this the way the human eye sees it. But anyway, I'm Van Backyard Carpenter, Baby Boomers Can Do on YouTube. If you happen to go over there, please like us and subscribe, make comments. Anyway, so what this is, I got 4-0 steel wool, alright, and this is what I'm gonna sand this down with, lightly sand this down so that I can put my next coat. So this is what I'm just going again with the grain, going all the way around, paying attention where I was and where I need to be. Alright, then I'm going to take a rag and wipe this down, and then I'm going to take an air hose and blow it off to get any debris from the steel wool. So I'll just go around and do this and then I'll put the second layer on. I'll come back and show you the second layer of polyurethane. I am applying the third and final coat of polyurethane rub-on, or wipe-on. Yeah, wipe-on polyurethane, which this is my first time ever to use it, and I like it. Alright, like it a lot. It's easier to control, doesn't leave any kind of brush marks. And it just, well, I wish you could see this on camera the way, this is almost like 3D. Almost like 3D. Yeah. Doing the edges also. Alright, as soon as this dries, we're going to deliver it to the customer. But it be done. I'm just kind of looking down around, make sure I don't see any excess along the edges. Make sure I don't have any rag dust on it. But that's it. Done deal. Woohoo, third layer. Alright, I'll show you one more when I get ready to say this is done. Alright, so that's the third layer, final layer. I put 3 total.